What's up, DSC gang? It's your boy Christian, and I just got done washing my hair, and I'm going to show you how to get my hair twisted.
Okay, so Christian's hair has been washed and also deep conditioned. So I'm kind of just pulling it out, showing y'all how I deep conditioned it. And then afterwards, I applied the African Pride Moisture Miracle Leave-In Conditioner. Just to give it a little more moisture, make it a little softer. His hair is kind of pretty thick. So now I'm just blow drying his hair, trying to get it a little stretching to it. He wasn't expecting that. That's why he turned around and looked at me so crazy. But it's not necessarily just get it completely dry. I just wanted to stretch his hair out a little because the shrinkage is real. So I'm just going through section by section, blow drying his hair. You can kind of see how it's being stretched out, how it's looking longer now as we go through it. Okay, so once I'm done blow drying his hair, then I just part his hair going straight across, starting from the back. And I'm not a good parter, so don't hold that against me. I'm not perfect with the parts. But then again, it doesn't have to be super duper perfect. I'm just trying to make sure it looks good enough. Good. And then those little, y'all see those little pieces on the side of his hair? They're still kind of sticking out. I'm not worried about that because he hasn't had a haircut yet, so that's gonna get cut off. But anyway, after I go straight across and make my parts, I divide that into another small section. I try not to make it too big, but I also don't want it too small because I don't want his twist to be locks. So I don't want it to make it real small, which I will probably try smaller twists next time just to see if they hold up a little better. But for this one, I just want the right size. And I condition his hair. I grease his scalp with the Sulfur 8 conditioning, hair and scalp conditioning. I also wash his hair with the Sulfur 8 shampoo because Christian has really dry scalp. His hair gets really dry. When it gets dry, he gets sores in it. He also starts to bleed. So I make sure that I keep his scalp moisturized, keep it greased, and I use that Sulfur 8. It works really good. It helps his dry hair. So like I said, I'm trying to fix my part the best I can. I am not good at parting. If anybody got some tips, let me know. And then this time I tried something different to hold his hair. So I used the Lotta Body setting lotion to spray on his hair to hold it tighter. I just put it in a little spray bottle. And you don't even have to add water this time to this one because it's already pretty much water based. You just put it in the spray bottle and start spraying. When I did his twist last time, it didn't hold quite like I wanted to. Like they start frizzing up after just a few days. So I figured I'll try this Lotta Body to see if it holds up a little better. So I just spread a Lotta Body on there, comb it through. Look at me trying to fix my part again. Girl, you are not going to get that part fixed. And clip my hair up out the way. And then you do your twist. And the 2-strand twists, they are like super easy. So once you have divided into a little section, then you just divide that section into 2 parts. And you take one section over the other. And you just twist it all the way down. As you see, his hair is looking like it's getting pulled. That's because I want it to be tight. I don't want him to have loose twists as if we would, like if we was getting doing a twist out. Because he's not doing a twist out. His twister staying up. So I'm just twisting it all the way down to the end of his hair. And that's where that lot of body comes into play. It holds that twist good. And then once I get to the end of his hair, I just apply a clip because I want his hair to stay looking stretched out. Because as soon as you see how I did, as soon as I let go, it ravels back up. So that's what that clip is there for, to kind of just keep it stretched out. And then I do the same thing on the next section. I just repeat the same step. So I forgot to mention that I also apply lock and twist gel to his hair, because that also helps with the hold. I don't want his hair to lock up, but I do want it to hold. So I applied that lock and twist gel just after I spray the Lotta Body. Just apply the lock and twist gel to it, comb through it, and then just continue to twist it. So just one extra step that I forgot to mention. So on this part also, I'm kind of trying to get the edges laid down a little bit. So this is where I had put that shine gel on his hair, and it's the purple bottle. They also come in a yellow bottle, which I like that too. But this is just the regular hold. The yellow bottle is the extra hold, and I just applied that to the start of the edge of that section. Telling you, I need all the hold I can get, because this boy, he's rough and his hair frizzes up quick and he messes it up, so I need it to hold. I don't need to be doing this over in a few days. It's got to last a little bit. So that's what I do, and just repeat it for the whole back side of his head. And once I'm finished with one of the twisties, I don't use a separate clip for each one. I just share the twisties with one clip. Just put them together. And I don't know why I was trying to put at the end of his twist, where one should go. It should go like in the middle of his twist. And then I can apply one at the end as well, just to hold it down. Okay, so this is 2 rows that I repeated those same steps in the back of his head. And then I also switched up my lock gel. So I switched to Murray's Gel Lock, because that other lock and twist gel, yeah, garbage. It wasn't working for me. So I had to switch it up on him. And that Murray's works really good. So it was holding his hair pretty good. Alright, I gotta speed it up. So I added a 3rd row, and then I'm just blow drying it with the blow dryer, just so he won't have to sit up under the dryer for long, because he's impatient and can't sit still for too long anyway, especially after getting his hair twisted. He hates sitting under the dryer, so I didn't want to have him sitting under the hair dryer for too long, so I'm just blow drying it as I go along. And of course, we had to stop so we can get him some ice cream. This is the process to the twist, and I just clip it as I go along. Each row I'm just adding clips to it so that the twist stay pulled down and they don't shrink up, because I still want it to have a little length to it, and I don't want it to look like little locks that he's just starting off with. So Once I finish the back, I make a part straight down the middle of his head, because now I want the ones on the side, I want them to fall over. I don't want them to go all back. So these are going to fall over to the side of his head. So I finished the back of half of his head in the back, and then the top half, I just put a part right down the middle. And then I section his hair off, 2 parts, put a little ponytail on one part to keep it out of the way. And then I'm going to start working on the right side of his head. Can y'all see how thick his hair is? His hair is so thick. That's why I did the twist a little smaller this time too. His hair is so thick. But he has a good grade of hair. So now I'm just going to start working on the sides. And again, I'm parting his hair going towards the side because I don't want the twist going towards the back. I want them to fall to the side of his head. So basically, I'm just starting from his forehead and going back to where the part ends, so that his twist can fall to the side. All right, now don't be judging me. I told you I'm not a good parter. So I had to try this so many times just to get one little part. I am not good at parting at all. But I make it work. And I'm just repeating those same steps. Part his hair and then part that section into little boxes. Look at that part. That part is raggedy. But we're going to make it work. So now I just part that into a little section. Twist it up like I did the rest of them. Apply my products. This is where that shining gem really works at on his edges. And again, I'm not too much worried about making sure all his hair is pulled up into that twist because he still has to get a haircut. So on the sides, it's gonna be cut off. So I'm not too much worried about that. And I'm just applying that shining gem so that it looks neat, stays in place. And then instead of twisting it going backwards, twist it going downwards so that it hangs to the side and they're not all going to the back. Alright, so here's the finishing part of the right side of his head. I just repeated the same steps, section after section, clipping along the way. And I'm going to do the same thing on the left side of his head. So y'all can see the top part is a little bit smaller. Yeah, we finish it up with all the products. And just repeat the same thing on the left side of his head. Don't forget to clip along the way, because this is what holds those twisties down and stretches them and keeps them from looking so tight. You don't want them to look so tight, because when they look tight, they close into your head. And I want him to have a little bit of drapage. His hair is growing, so gotta let it show. Like I said, I just repeated the same steps on the left side of his head. Okay, so now we are finished with the twist. Still using the clips to hold his head together, but we're finished twisting it. So our next step is to take him to his barber, his pawpaw, and get his hair cut so he can look fresh. Alright, this is the final outcome after Christian has got his hair all twisted up, taken the clips off, and got his hair lined up. So, turn around, buddy. And that's it.